Alright, hope you can all hear me. Let me know if it is not working right now, but it should be. Just wait for a few more people to get in and we can get started. Alright, it seems like it's all working. Let me know if you guys cannot hear me. But otherwise I can just crack on. Alright, awesome. Good to hear. Sounds like it's working. Alright, so yeah, like always guys, if you've got any questions for me, please send them through in the chat. All I'm going to do today should be a lot quicker one than normal, is just go through the results of our competition that we've been doing with our customers at the moment. So if you don't know about the competition, it is basically going through who has, I think we've got 10 competitors. I was going to join in myself, but I've just moved countries. So I'm having a bit of trouble accessing some of the old bookmakers. So there's not even any point in me getting involved because I am not placing too many bets at the moment. So yeah, the rules are, the winner is the person that has the highest closing edge or average closing edge at the end of July. At the moment, Joachim is joining in, and as you'll see through the results, maybe he hasn't got off to the greatest start. So I don't know how much of a competitor he will be, but other than that, I think on top of that, we have 9 customers of Trademate joining in, which is great. So yeah, it'll be judged off who's got the highest closing edge, and then throughout the process we'll show everyone else, like everyone's stats, whether that be their average ROI, trades, starting bankrolls, turnover, profits, closing EV, and the Kelly percentage that these people are using. And then before this today, before I show the week 1 results, I'll also show all the users' all-time results, which I think is quite interesting for you guys to look at before the competition starts. The only main rules are, other than the winner is the person with the highest average closing edge, is that they have to place 500 trades during the month, and also there might be some other rules. Oh yeah, if Joachim wins, which I highly doubt, sorry Joachim if you're listening, the winner will be the next best customer, and the winner wins a 60 euros off their next subscription with Trademate. And then obviously I'm going to be tracking whether these guys are deleting their trades or if they're falsifying some of their bets throughout the whole process. So yeah, we'll try and keep it as legitimate as possible, and I assume these customers aren't going to cheat, but I obviously would like to check that just so we get the fair winner at the end of the day. So we might as well get started. If I just switch my view 1 second so you guys can see. Oh geez, sorry. Alright, so you should be able to see my screen now. Just going to zoom into that for you. Okay. That was good, and then I will also put my ugly head in here too. Maybe move that upwards. Alright, so these are the all-time results of our customers, and I see that there might be a question right now, so I'll answer that. Where have you moved to the UK? No mate, I've moved to Sweden. So very temporarily. But yeah, thanks for asking, Neil. Alright, so this is the all-time stats of these 9 customers and Joachim. So Joachim's an intern, for those people who are just tuning in for the first time. So as you can see, it's a good variety of customers we've got joining in. You've got this fella here, I'll try and pronounce these names, Shabalin Vlad. He's obviously been with us for a long time. He's placed over 10,000 trades, over 2.5 million in turnover, and some juicy profits, as you can see. But the funny thing is, he's kind of underperforming because here's his closing EV here. So he's almost doing half what he's expected to do. So if I was him, Shabala Invlad, I would be very excited about what's to come next because he's majorly underachieving at the moment. I won't go through all the customers, but there's nothing there. Obviously, there's a few down here, trades wides under 1,000 trades. These kind of guys here, especially Maka, Marinko, and Neil, they've barely been with us. I'd say they've been with us for a couple of weeks, if that, by the number of trades they've got in. So I would say in terms of results, I wouldn't judge below Joachim too much just because it's such a low number of trades. I'd more be looking at the people that are above Joachim here. Let me know if you want me to zoom in more, guys. Might zoom in a little more so it's a bit easier to read. All right, that looks good. All right, cool. So yeah, I'd be looking at more Joachim stats and above, just because the number of trades are a lot more accurate. The only person who's been, I can see, quite unlucky here is Juhani so far. But other than that, Montella, you've got a lot of profits to look forward to. Daniel's pretty close to EV, still got a bit to look forward to. So they're all kind of underachieving here. So I'd be very excited if I was those guys. Let's say Joachim. I'm going to go through Joachim's stats soon, but he's barely racked up any EV. I'm trying to see turnover wise, 3. He's probably on par, to be honest. He's just he's placed a lot of trades, so I guess he probably didn't start off with a big enough bankroll, as you can see here. He might have started off with something even lower than that, and that's why he's barely racked up any EV here. So disappointing, Joachim. But all right, so that's the all-time stats. If you guys want me to get that back up again later, if you want me to talk through it a bit more, if you've got any questions about that, let me know. But I can now just go through the result from week 1. Okay. Let me just see if that is... Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to... make sure you can see this table, but my stream that I've got up here is a bit slower. But I can answer this question in the meantime. So it's from Temit Toop Alake. Hey Alex, are you getting another best bet today later on Twitter? If you're referring to my Twitter feed myself, yeah, mate, I will do that later today once I'm just about to finish up work for the day. So look out for that. For those who want to see kind of the daily bets I'm placing, you can follow me on Twitter. I can put my promote myself here if you like. I'll put it into my Twitter handle there, so you can follow me there, and I'll be posting like some of the trades that I'm placing every day. All right, I'm just going to make sure you guys can see this. Okay, and that should be okay there. But these are the week 1 results. Are all core customers or some pro of them? Oh, mate, that's a good question, Daniel. I think some are Nordic customers, actually. One of them is, I'm pretty sure. There might be one pro customer. I'm not sure. To be honest, I think they're all. I think they all are core customers. I'm pretty sure. So. Unless some of you are watching and you are pro customers, just send a message through, but I'm pretty sure it's all core. But yeah, here are the results, guys. You can see Montello, or maybe it's Monteo, with a decent lead, 5.7% closing edge over 228 trades, which is very, very decent. Then next you've got Neil, 4.7. He's next best, and then I'll try Tajin, 4.1, and then going down, as you can see in the table, Joachim, very, very disappointing. Don't ask me what he's been doing the last week. He's on holiday somewhere at the moment, so obviously the holiday's got the best of him, and he has completely lost the plot with a 0.3% closing edge. Don't ask me how he's been doing that, but I will actually reveal what I think about Joachim's his strategies at the moment, because I did have a look and see what he was doing wrong. But all right, a few key takeaways from this data. If I can just get up my notes I've written here. If you just look at it on an overall basis, it shows that even though COVID is well and truly still affecting us, you can get a bloody good amount of trades in at the moment. So as you can see, Shanxi, 406 trades. Who else is there? And then the winning at the moment, Montello, 228 trades for 1 week. And this is, if you guys are wondering if these stats, when these stats are, it's from the 1st of July to the 8th of July. So I didn't look at the last 2 days. So I did this all on Wednesday. As you can see, you can still get a decent amount of trades in. I'm getting lots of people in the customer support asking me, COVID's affecting this, I'm not getting many trades in, blah, blah, blah. Maybe these guys are using a lot of the all leagues presets, but look, there's most of these guys are getting in over 100 trades easily a week. I think that's decent considering all the leagues that are off at the moment. Because football obviously takes up a lot of the trades with Trademate. I'd say about 75% of the trades come from the European football. So they're all on at the moment, which is good. And then the American sports still have to come back, which will give us a lot more to work with. That was one of my takeaways. The other one was, so it's only a week of trades. And most people here have placed somewhere around 100 to 200 trades. With that amount of bets, you're going to have such a high variance in your results. And let's just look at all the average ROIs. Our average ROI for Trademate as a whole is 2%, or 2.5%, sorry. So if you look at some of these numbers, 8.6, that's massive. 8.5 negative, that's massively different. 5.1, that's probably the closest average ROI to our actual overall. Same with this one here, 0.6. So I'm just saying that overall, with such a low amount of trades, I don't think you should be really looking at your results until 1,000 bets at minimum. I still think there's high variance after 1,000 bets. So if you are looking to actually make really good judgments off your results with Trademate, I would be looking at over 1,000 trades after that, or at least I think it was 20 from the data I looked at, maybe over 25,000 euros turnover too. That's when I think you can start really having a good look at your data. And interestingly enough, just said 25,000 euros is a good number. Shabal Invalad has nearly hit that, and his ROI is pretty, it's still pretty not that great, but it's probably the closest out of all these average ROIs to what Trademate's actual average ROI is. So I think just shows the variant results, I guess, with the low number of trades, and hopefully will become less variant as the competition goes on. Neil, mate, great question. They're all found by automation, mate. No, it's got no, obviously has human input because humans built the software. So Jonas Gjelstad, you've probably seen him all over our YouTube channel. He's a pro sports bettor, and it was all his ideas that came into building the software. So you're essentially using a pro sports bettor's thoughts or beliefs in terms of the software and what bets, or in terms of like the value betting stuff. But in terms of like, sending out the bets you'll see in the trade feed, it is all automated, basically just from finding price discrepancies between Pinnacle's price and soft bookies, for at least for core customers, that is. So yeah, mate, all done through automated software, an algorithm, whatever. All right, some of the other takeaways I had, so this is more Joachim's, like looking at Joachim's stuff, and the reason why I think he's not having the greatest results. His max bet size is huge. I'm glad you should be glad Jonas is not here. Daniel, good one. Joachim's max bet size is huge. It's like $150. So with those, you should see his graph. I mean, I should have taken a screenshot before this, but Joachim's graph is just like this up and down. It's crazy because his max bet size is way too big. You should only be betting 1 to 2% of your overall bankroll for your max bet. So that doesn't help. And also, as you can see, his Kelly percentage is 40%, which is a lot more risky than we would recommend. We think 30% is a good number, and if you're not going to do 30%, go lower, I believe. And I mean, Jonas said himself he's using, when he can, with his bets, like a 20% Kelly. So it obviously depends on your risk preference, but I would be recommending Joachim, because he's got such a high variance in his results, to lower his max bet size majorly, and also check out his Kelly percentage and make sure that's 30%. But in terms of why he's not finding value, maybe, or his average closing edge is quite small, I mean, I'm not too sure. I'd have to have a look at his presets. Maybe he's trading too early before kickoff. Maybe he's trading on all leagues and it's swinging out of his favor because of the low liquidity. Not 100% sure. Maybe we can look more into that next week. What else have we got? The other one I thought was Sheen to Gene. If you're there, mate, it'd be nice if you could try and give us a pronunciation of how you say your name. So looking at his stats overall, his all-time stats, I might as well get it up. So looking at Sheen's all-time stats, his average ROI is 2.5%, and his flat ROI was 1.3%, which I didn't add in here, but it is 1.3%. So I thought that was quite cool because it shows that the Kelly bet staking strategy is working for him, which is good. And that's all I really wanted to say about that. So inside the Trademate, you can kind of have a look and see how you would be performing if you implemented a flat ROI strategy compared to a Kelly bet or Kelly criterion strategy. And it just shows that, I mean, and we've seen it through our data too, that the ROI is going to be a lot better with using the Kelly bet, as long as you don't go ridiculous and put it above, 30%. Another thing I noticed, the difference in the closing EV and the profits between Juhani and Daniel. Now, Juhani, once again, mate, as we were saying before, you've been bloody unlucky. You've racked up 211 EV in 1 week. You've lost 420 euros. So you're massively underachieving. And then you look at someone like Daniel, who's profited 332 euros, but he's lost 66 euros. But he's racked up 66 euros in closing EV. So Daniel, mate, I think you've been very lucky. So I thought that was a cool example, maybe not too cool for Juhani, but a good example of showing that variance is a bitch, basically, and that you might be able to rack up, in this case, just about 4 times as much closing EV, but you could lose a lot more money. And it's these numbers here that you should be worried about. Number of trades you get in, turnover you get in, and obviously your average closing edge is very, very important. That's basically the most important statistic, this and your closing EV. So if I'm looking at this overall, I'm thinking the biggest winner this week is, I'm sorry, it's not you, Montello. I'm looking at this and saying this man is the biggest winner because he's racked up the most closing EV. And I guess we would have ranked it based on closing EV, but the problem is some people have got different bankrolls, so it would be unfair to to base it on that, because Shabal Invalad will just win every day of the week because he's just got a bigger bankroll. I'm not quite sure how much his starting bankroll is, and let me know, guys, if I've gotten your stats completely wrong in terms of your starting bankroll, because I kind of had to make a reasonable, I think it's legitimate, like it's a good estimate, but it might be off by 100 euros here and there. So let me know if I've made the wrong calculation there. Question here from Neil Ratcliffe: how is average edge calculated? So we don't disclose how we actually calculate the edge, but I guess the easiest way to explain it is that, let's just say Pinnacle's odds is at 1.8 and I get a bet on at 2 in odds at Bet365. That's a pretty decent edge. So that would be given a percentage. If I had to guess what percentage that would get, maybe something around the 7% mark. 7% mark. And then this is just the average closing edge. So Monteo's, a 5.7% closing edge. I would be guessing that in general he's been placing, let's just say, a bet of 1.9, and it's been closing at 1.75. So he's been getting a if you take out the margin, I guess he's been getting a 0.1 difference. So that would equal, that kind of equals a 5%. You add that up over time, 0.1, 0.1 odds difference over time, and that's why he's racked up so much closing EV with the trades and the amount of trades he's put in. So, yeah. I hope that answers your question, mate. But yeah, we don't actually say exactly how the edge is calculated. It's more so, this is just the difference, our percentage difference that we've spat out after seeing the difference in price between a soft bookie and Pinnacle. Mohammed Amin, message retracted. Well, why'd you do that, mate? Was it offensive? Oh well. Feel free to ask more questions, guys. We're coming to the end now. The last thing I wanted to look at was Marinko and Markar. Now, if you guys are listening, I heavily implore you, or advise you, I guess, to increase your starting bankrolls. 600 euros at the minimum, absolute minimum you should be starting with is 600 euros. I'm sorry, it's not 600, it's 1,000 euros. And I still think that's not enough. Actually, I'll get an article up for you that I wrote a long time ago. I did a video on this. Maybe some of you have seen this. Yeah, I'll just get this up for you guys. but basically I went through results and kind of went through how much I would have made if I'd started with different bankrolls. So I started with $1,000, $1,000 US dollars, as you all know, but I could have made so much more money if I had started with a bigger bankroll. So I'll show you guys this. Maybe I can zoom out. While you guys are there, can you give the stream a like? It'd be awesome. Sorry to sound very very needy, but it just would be great to get as many people joining in as possible. All right. Oh no! Oh god, I've gone to the wrong one. Sorry guys, one sec. I'm just gonna find this for you. All right, it's good that I answered your question, Neil. No worries, mate. Keep sending questions through, guys, if you've got any. I'm just going to show you guys this. All right, so this table I drew up. So yeah, as you can see, I don't have to pay a subscription fee because I work for Trademate. So I got this for free, but basically after 12 weeks, or so let's just say 3 months, I would have had to pay 400. So actually, it's less than that. It's 360, and if I'd done quarterly, it would have only been 300. So, but I put 400 in anyway. Let's just say I started with a bankroll of let's just say I started with a bankroll of $1,000 like I did. It took me that long to make 1,000. If I'd started with 2,000 after 12 weeks, I would. This is just based on my results too, and I only slightly overperformed, I think. So in terms of getting to 1,000. So moving on, I guess the main thing is if I'd started with the $5,000 instead of $1,000, I would have made 5 times as much, basically. And if I did have to pay a subscription fee, that's how much I would have made, which is a big difference between making that and that if I just started with 5,000. Even if I'd started with 3,000-4,000, it's a big difference between that number and this number. So I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is that it's incredibly important to start with a big bankroll, because if not, you're missing out on racking up EV. I understand that it's bigger variance risk for you, but because it's just more risky because it's a bigger bankroll. But if I had my time over again, I would start with a bigger bankroll to cover not only the subscription fee, but I guess to make profits quicker. But I mean, even if you make profits quicker, the downside to that is you get limited quicker. But yeah, I recommend starting with a bigger bankroll than at least these guys. 400. If I was Shancy, I'd probably start with more. Neil's kind of right at the bottom of what I would start with. But Joachim doesn't matter because he doesn't have to pay a subscription fee because he works with us. But 600 euros and 400 euros, it's not enough. It's not enough. You guys need to start with at least 1,000 euros or 1,000 US dollars at the minimum. I think Montello's got the right idea here, 5,000, that's great. Yeah, I'd be following that strategy more. All right, a few questions coming through. Neil Ratcliffe, oops, I started with a monkey yesterday, 500 pounds. Yeah, mate, Neil, I'd be starting with a bit more than that. G'day to you too, X score. Thanks for liking stream, guys. That's always good. Esports odds always. Yeah, we've got esports now, mate. If you want to look at the results we've had on esports so far, I'm going to release a video about it soon. But I did have a quick look through it in my last stream. So if you can find that last stream, then you'll be able to see some of the results we've had with esports so far. It's been very, very good. High closing edges. Hard to get a judge on whether bookmakers are limiting people who are betting on esports, because it's got lots of liquidity, so it's not like you're betting on like a Belarusian league or a Russian ice hockey or something like that. You're actually betting on a very decent, very liquid market, I would say. But yeah, there's not really any definitive thing on whether it's a bit dangerous at the moment, esports betting, in terms of limitations. So yeah, but I'm betting on it, and it's good. It's good so far. Near Ratcliffe, fund growth of 6.3%, profit of 32, trades 36 since yesterday. Yeah, I mean, it's decent, but I would be starting with a bigger bankroll, Neil, mate. I think that'll help you a lot, because I mean it doesn't matter if you start with €1,000. You can, but the problem is you've got to cover the subscription costs. So if you go quarterly payment plan with core of €300, that's 3 months, so €100 a month. It's just you have to put a lot of work in, and you have to get off to a good start. Because if you get off to a good start, €1,000 start, double your money in a couple of weeks. Now you're betting with €2,000, so that's great. Get off to an even better start. Maybe you get off to a really lucky start, like I've seen with a lot of customers. You can, the more money you have, the better, because where the way the Kelly criterion works is the bigger your bankroll, the more you're staking, which means more profits, also means more losses, obviously. But we are obviously well and truly a profitable software. So, yeah. I'm just putting the video back on me now. If you guys want to see anything else, let me know. But I will be finishing up soon, unless you've got any more questions. Oh, sorry, Bet Beast. Will this video be a video I can watch when the live stream is over? Yeah, mate. You can watch this once it's over. Should be all there. I'll give you guys 1 more minute to send through questions. If not, I'll head off. But I assume most of the people on this stream are already subscribed to our channel, so make sure you do that if you're not. Like the video. Follow us on Twitter. Some good stuff coming out on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you like. I put my my username up before, and like someone said before, I've started posting my bets on there too. So if you guys are I guess active enough, you might be able to jump on a few of my bets if you don't lose that on the price. But I doubt that. By the time I post it, I'm a bit slow, so the edge might be gone. But yeah, I'm happy to share my bets. I've got no problem with that. As you guys know, I always show my stats on the website, on the YouTube channel, on the blog. So yeah, if there's no more questions, guys, can you say something about the big data tool? Well, the big data tool looks at everyone's trades from all our customers ever. There are some limitations to it though, because it's got a max out of 10,000 bets. So I'm pretty sure that it looks at the most recent 10,000 bets based on your filters. So maybe you want to look at a certain bookmaker, a certain sport, a certain percentage of edge, certain odds range. So you can filter all that through. So if you wanted to see like how we're performing on football with Bet365 and William Hill, this is an example, in odds range of 1.5 to 2.0, with staking between $0 and $50, whatever. You can go and filter that all through, and it'll come up with the results. So yeah, as I said, only limitation is that it's 10,000, the most recent 10,000 bets. If the overall sample size is more than 10,000, then it will just pick the most recent 10,000 bets. All right, hopefully that answers your question, Bet Beast. We got Neil back. If I add more money to my account, do I just update each bookie? Yeah, mate. Yeah, so I guess just go to your add bookmakers page and increase your the money you've got on each bookie there. Yeah, so simple as that. Any more questions, guys? If you are a user of Trademate, just head over to the Trademate Sports chat support, and I'll always help you out, or whoever's on chat for the weekend. How much you value other good handicappers' opinion before you put a bet? Oh, I don't look at anyone's advice. I just go through the Trademate software. So I think the best advice is to use mathematics over someone's opinion on a game. So, I mean, maybe here and there I'll place my own bets on like a rugby or a UFC because I know quite a bit about it. I mean, maybe a football one here and there, but it's all like 99% of my bets are through Trademate. So I'm just following the algorithm. If I can get on something that should be a lot lower in price but get a bigger price, I'm taking value every single time, beating Pinnacle's closing line, which are a lot sharper bookmaker. So, which are the sharpest bookmaker. So, yeah, always using Trademate because computers or robots or algorithms, softwares, they're a lot more reliable than what's up here because I'm not some mathematical genius. I mean, obviously it's achievable being a pro sports bettor. I've met Jonas, lived with him for a week. I know he's good at what he does, but I mean, that takes lots of hard work. I would need to really put a lot more work in, I guess, to get to the level where I would take my own advice over Trademate's, the algorithm software advice. All right, we've got 30 more seconds if you've got any more questions. If not, I will head off. If you're new here, subscribe, like, it's always good. Follow me and Trademate on Twitter, it's always nice. But I think that's about it. There's nothing really else to show you guys. But yeah, well done to Monteo winning the challenge so far. Still got a long time to go. Still got 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks to go. But he's gotten out to a pretty decent lead so far. So Neil, Sheen in second and third place. In with a close shot. But make sure you guys are getting over a 500 trades because you're not eligible if you don't go above 500 trades. All right. That'll be it. I'll come back next week, guys. So make sure you tune in. I'll be back next week. I'll do week 2 results, probably through a live stream again. This has been fun. Always here to answer your questions too on the go, which I think is good for everyone. Yeah, enjoy the latest edition of the podcast, which will be back next week on Monday, hopefully. Gonna do another preview of the EPL coming up, bit of fun, and we might have a very special guest. So get excited. All right, that'll do, guys. Catch you very, very soon.